So I was just sitting here and I was thinking to myself, right? Like, man, I had 2 months to do nothing. I mean, there was a lot of chaos in the beginning, right? A lot of chaos trying to get things situated, and through the whole thing, though, like, I had this faith in God that everything was just going to work out. Like, he's doing his thing. I don't know what's happening, but I trust him. And I didn't get overly stressed out or worked up about everything happening. I was more fascinated by it. I was more intrigued by what was happening around me in this world, and to think that in my lifetime I would experience something like what's happening. And so, I kind of got a little upset with myself tonight because I'm sitting outside. It's beautiful. It's like the perfect temperature. There's no bugs. I can hear all the wildlife. Perfect breeze. And I'm like, why don't I do this more? And it's like, because I've been so go, 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 and I've really had nothing to do, but mentally and emotionally, I'm like, I don't know, like, there's something that needs to be done every day. And don't get me wrong, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. Like, I don't get to just sit out here. Like, this is not my normal night. Like, this is my neighbor's setup, and they're home, and I don't, hang out on their side. Like, it's just, I don't do that. And so tonight I am, right? And I'm like, this is so beautiful. Like, their setup is really nice, and it's just so amazing to sit here and really just bask in, God's glory. And it was a really interesting day today because I didn't really know what we were going to do. I mean, we had, like, John and I had a couple plans and whatnot, and so I'm going to set this way. So I was like, please don't get hurt today as you're out riding your motorbikes. And I even said a prayer, and I was like, Lord, like, keep them all safe. And it's been really weird the past couple days because, like, I was explaining earlier with like, I don't really believe in the Virgo and the Mercury in retrograde or whatever is happening. And so I honestly, like, it was like, man, something's going on. Like, something is going on. Like, I don't know if it's because we're so undistracted that we're more perceptive to the foreshadowing happening in life right now, or what. But it's been so crazy because, like, I get these days where it's like, if you think about somebody, they'll come around or they'll show up or text you, and you're like, man, like, I really gotta be careful about who I allow pop in my head, because I'm just not trying to maybe you want to see it, maybe you don't. I don't know, but it happens a lot with me. You just get that, like, weird feeling, and you're like, man, I'm gonna run into them tonight because they popped in my head. So the other day, it was like opposite day. It was so annoying. It was like everywhere I picked, I was like a week ago, because it was like a really nice day, and we wanted to go get like ice cream or a donut or something, or like, what's open? And I was like, oh, well, there's these two options. I think did it start with barbecue? Yeah, because I wanted the one place, and then another place was recommended to me, and then I had asked for an opinion, and I felt like the vote was more towards the one place, so we went there, and I was so disappointed. I mean, the meat was good, don't get me wrong, but, like, I judge a barbecue place by, like, its mac and cheese and stuff. Like, mac and cheese tasted like water. It was gross. So I was like, man, I should have went to the place I wanted. So later, driving around, want something else. All right, well, I haven't been to this place here. Let's check that out, or should we go to this place? They are open, right? And so I'm like, okay, 2 options. Well, we ended up going to the new place, and it was like, man, these suck too. Like, I was like, man, okay, whatever I decide, do the opposite of. So then it was like today, right? Like, it was like everybody around me. Like, I'd messaged a couple people. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing today, but if you want to hang out, nice out, lay out, chill, whatever, talk. And everyone was busy. This person had an emergency with that. And then Johnny ends up in the ER after messing up his shoulder. And everybody's like, everybody was busy, right? It was so crazy. And then I'm just sitting out here and I'm like, you know what? I love nights by myself. I love just relaxing and just enjoying the moment and enjoying the night and just, and it's one of those things where you're not alone. You're just basking in God's, like, just presence. And the feeling, like, I don't get these nights. This isn't like an every night thing, so like to really take it in and just how perfect it is, and it's like, oh man, like this has just been so great. Like I'm just so like excited that today was not a good day for a good amount of people. But just looking back and just seeing like, God must be doing something, right? Because if, he wanted me to sit alone for a hot second and chill out and get my mind together, because it's just been, so I think I was, I don't know if I was stressed, like you're stressed but you don't think you are, but your body's like trying to tell you are, and just still focusing on crap I don't need to be focusing on. And I've been slacking on like my prayers in the morning and like my devotions, and I've been rushing my mornings, and like rushed mornings are the worst because the whole day is like a disaster, and then like a road rage and all the stuff. So just slowing down for a minute, I forget how amazing that feels and how rare it really is, because, not everybody really takes the time to just chill out for a hot second. Man, it is so nice out though. I don't know if is it still fixed on like up, but you can't see anything. But anyways, so there was another part of tonight, and I don't mean to be wise in my own eyes or be prideful about it, but looking back, I guess the whole point of it is looking back and seeing like God working and God's hand in it, and just seeing like the ripple effect. And when you like just want like you want God's will for your life, and you're like, all right, use me like for whatever it is. And if you get that impression, like you just want to love on somebody real quick, and I don't mean that in like a weird way, like, hold on. So I hadn't a friend that I hadn't talked to in a long time, she's been kind of like more present in my life, like through Facebook. I've been like kind of paying more attention, like noticing, and then and so all of a sudden, like tonight, I don't know, like I wanted to tell her like how loved she was and like how amazing of a job, like I'm so proud of her, like she's done such great things with her life, and I just wanted her to know that. And I feel like when you get that impression, like I just want you to reach out and love on somebody for a second, like let them know how loved they are. And you never know how perfect of a timing it can be for another person, and God's timing is always perfect. So and quite often I feel like if I get those impressions, like if I'm at the store and I'm like, oh, should I do a good deed, like should I pay for that person's meal, or should I pay for that person's stuff behind me? And then all of a sudden it's like, instead of like, yeah, just do it, all of a sudden I'm like analyzing, like, all right, well, how much stuff they got in there, like how much is this gonna cost, and instead of just like blessing somebody and doing it for the right reasons. And you don't have to buy every single person's meal and every single person's shopping list and blah blah blah, but like, if God lays that on your heart to just be like, hey, like, I feel a little bit of joy when I think about bringing joy to somebody else, like, do it up. I don't know. It's really neat when life is like this. Sometimes it's like I said, I always compared it to like a That's So Raven episode where it's like he'll get like a little bit of a glimpse. Like I said, life is pretty foreshadowing, and the clues and the hints, and it's like if you're perceptive, right, to it, it's amazing how much you'll pick up on. Like when you're actually like, it's like a sense that we're actually, because we're not bombarded by technology. Like normally I'll just like sit inside and be like, all right, well, what can I do? I'll just binge watch Ozark until it's done because I'm sick of binge watching stuff. Which Ozark wasn't actually that bad. I was kind of hesitant. But, yeah, so, I don't know. I just love the mind-altering epiphanies where you just take a step back and you're like, man, I just needed to get out of that storm of my mind for a minute. You can just view things in a different way. It really just like resets your mind. It's pretty cool. But man, I forget, like, it just takes like just get off your phone for a second and just sit and look. Like when it's bright out and like the clouds, like I forgot how cool it is to just look at the clouds. And I did that the other day and I was like, man, like it's like things you do as like a kid and you're like, I don't have time. And it's like, yeah, because all you do is look down all day. Like, look up for a second. Look around. Experience your surroundings. Like, turn off all the noise and just listen. Like, I've been listening tonight and I'm like, I can't, it's like, okay, sitting here and you're just listening. It's like, it sounds like somebody's dragging something across the floor, right? Because like you can't tell if it's close or if it's far. And they're like, is it guns? And like, is it a thunderstorm? Like, what is making that noise? And you hear all the crickets and the wind, and I don't know. It's different to me because it's not a bunch of city noise. It's not cars all the time. It's, it's so quiet. And the stars out here. When I come home at night, like, it's so bright because of the airport, but like when I get out of work and I come home and like you look up, it's like, wow, like I can see some stars. Like, this is so crazy. I'm not used to this. It is really interesting though, because there's not a lot of planes going right now with everything. So, normally at night it's just every, I don't know how many minutes, but it is so peaceful. I have not seen or heard a plane in a while, now that I'm talking about it. So I was thinking, like, I really like to have conversations like this. And I've always wanted to I want to do a podcast. Don't hate. Actually, I really don't care. It's more of like, I just want to record my conversations with people because I feel like sometimes you can really, like, come to understandings about things or view things in a totally different perspective or manner. And it's like those moments you're just like, I want to remember that I just relearned this or learned this or understood this differently or something. Like, like to revisit it, to remind yourself, like, okay, yeah, but I never record them. And I'm like, it'd be super sweet to just have a conversation and just like talk and just talk. That's like that Midnight Gospel show, that cartoon. It's so hard to pay attention to because there's so much going on in the cartoon, but like the conversations, like what they're talking about. It's really cool. I think the first one was Dr. Drew Pinsky. Like it's like they're just having a conversation, and it's really cool. But like he travels, and it's so like I just gotta watch it. Like I cannot explain it. Oh man. I was talking earlier about how amazing it is that you cannot, like when you start trying to like describe God or like a feeling or like just him or like any, like, oh gosh, anything with him, like it's like tongue tied. Like it's so hard to come up with the right words because there are no words. Like he does not get a label. He does not get, like, he's indescribable. It's an experience. It's a feeling. It's not, you can't label him. And that's always why I stress the importance of your own personal relationship with Jesus, because it's like, oh man, it's just like it's like a inside club where it's like you and him, and he's like the hookup, like he's the VIP, like he's the mob boss, like he's the top dog, God. And when you've got him on your side, man, it's like, what are you worried about? But when you really take the time to develop that personal relationship with him, the things he'll work on in and out of you and in you, like he transforms you mentally and emotionally. And it's so nice to get off of the hamster wheel of that thing that with that, like the bad behavior or that thought process or the whatever, like just the BS. And you can just really see things differently and understand things differently, and it's more calming and you're more relaxed. You just like, you care, but you don't care about the stupid stuff anymore, Like you're like, okay, like I'm not gonna let this affect me. Like it's not a big deal. Like I'm gonna be so annoying and find the positive in everything because I like to. It's great, it's easy, and it all points back to God, and I'm like, ha, I see what you did there. Like it's fun. Like it's fun to look back and be like, well, that's cool. I see you working. So if anybody wants to like have conversation, I'm all about some intellectual conversations. And not even like, we don't have to talk about like, I'm not gonna talk about math and science, but like just that, like that experience and the feelings, deep feelings, like this wind right now, oh, this breeze. So just the way just to feel it, like all the things we just take for granted in life. Like I don't care how stupid I sound or how crazy I sound, like this is what brings my soul joy, and I like what I like, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, like obviously within reason and moderation, because I would do this more often and I don't. But again, like if I were to do this every night, like I don't think I would feel the same way I do about it not being an everyday thing. That's why I always like, I would love to go to Colorado and live there for a year. Like, see, but I wanted to move there. I did. I was like, oh, Lord, like Colorado. And then he's like, nah, Grand Rapids. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I got here and I was like, solid choices. Like, thank you so much for the hookup. Like, this is amazing. Like, I love it here. But I still, like, deep down, I'm like, I'll miss Colorado. And it's like, I know I can just go visit. Because I think that's better than moving there, because I don't ever want to take for granted the way that being there makes me feel. Like, the mountains and the view and is never, I'm not gonna say never, but I hadn't felt so close to God as I did when I was there. Like it was just so, like the word majestic pops in my head, and then not for some reason like a bunch of wild horses running like America, I don't know, but like just that feeling of how much joy something brings, like, often just taking it for granted. Again, like, I don't want to do that with things, and it's like, it's an effort, but it's so worth it. And in the yesterday's daily devotional, I think it was yesterday's, I think I've been trying to be on track, it was like, excuse me, what was I, okay, wait, I yawned and now I forgot. Oh well, I don't feel like looking on my phone, it's so bright. But if you look at yesterday's daily devotions that I posted, one of the three, oh wait, I don't know, probably it was something to do with trying to do stuff in your own strength. Like, I suck at that, because I suck at, like, controlling the food I eat. I love food, and food does not love me. The only food that loves me are vegetables and salads, and I love my vegetables and I love my salads, but I love everything else, and I am addicted to sugar. So all of it, except for, like, the gross gummy worms, like, I can't do those, they give me a migraine. Brownies, cookies, such a sucker. Yeah. Oh. So I keep trying to get my life in order and get my health in order, and he had said something to me last week or so about not trying to understand and learn about and pinpoint some sort of specific issue that's going on with my health and my digestive system and whatnot, but to put more faith and knowledge and understanding into his abilities and what he can do for me, instead of stressing and worrying about what's going on. And that really hit really hard. And then I did the complete opposite, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep trying to concern myself with the stress of it all. But I mean, I pray and I believe in his word, but I do and I don't. My my faith is very wavering. I trust in his ability to work very mighty miracles for other people, but I don't feel like they were like, but I can't say that so much anymore. Ever since I started praying thy will not my will, and I was like, dude, I surrender, like, you've got to take control of my life, like, I can't live this way anymore, like, I will not survive. And when he started making things move and moved me, and the way everything was, he did everything in the last year and a half, and he's communicated with me here and there through many things and little things for ever since since I asked for him to come into my heart and forgive me my sins. Like, I wanted to like have that relationship with him, and it was like 7 years ago. And then it took me 2013 I got my Bible. I think that was the year I was saved. And then it took me like 5 years to really like try to form a relationship. And then like I was like, trying to have a relationship, and then I wasn't. And then things got really strong when I was like, I surrender, please. Like, Jesus, take the wheel. And then it was like, like I said, over the last 2 years is where things really took off with my faith, and like him hooking me up, and like just that real personal, raw relationship. And it's so crazy. Like, it's so unreal. And like I said, I love that it's unreal, because it's you know, unlike anything you can imagine, and that's why it's why I get annoying with it. That's why I don't try to force it on people, but I want to force it on people, because I want them to experience it. You know, like, I love you, like, please listen to me, like, you don't know what you're missing out on. And it's like, it's just, you know, like, when people find something they really like, they talk about it, you know, they want to share it, they want you to know about it, like, let's make your life easier, like, this will do that for you, like, I don't know. But yeah, and you know what else is really interesting? People always talk about, like, following your passion. Like, I get pretty heated when I talk about, like, health and Jesus. So I'm, like, wondering if I'm ever going to do anything with my life. I'll get a certificate, or I want to do, like, a health coach and life coach and combine the two, and some sort of holistic Christian something, but still me, because I am who I am. So, you know. Yeah. Beautiful night. I hope that you all have had a moment of peace and joy with all the craziness that's been going on. I hope that you had more than a moment, but even for just a second, you know, I mean, so it's not just constant stress and chaos. It's a weird time we're in right now. And I don't know what God is doing. I have no idea. There's so much happening, and it's so terrifying. It's terrifying, and it makes you so curious. And to try to analyze it, you know, like, is it the end times? Is God redoing the, like, you know, Mother Nature redoing the earth? And, you know, like, I don't know. And I don't mean that, like, yeah, like, we gotta wipe people out. Like, that's not what I mean. Like, I mean, like, the rivers moving, or, you know, the fires, like, starting over with the trees, and then there's these, I don't know, there's so much happening. I feel like some of the stuff is political. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of people living in fear. I'm sick of the media, the way they lie and misinform us and keep us in fear, because, you know, that's right where they want ya. I don't know. It's a really weird, fascinating time. And I think about, like, getting older and looking back and being like, yeah, I remember the masks and the 20-minute line for the Trader Joe's. Like, I stocked up on so much junk food because I wasn't gonna be back for a while, because screw that line. I don't know. I can't help but just be curious about, like, what things will start turning into and end up like, and, you know, just to watch him work. It is very fascinating. I feel like it's getting windier. Which I wish you could see the trees, because they look so cool how they blow. And just to listen to them, it's so neat. But it's cool when you're sitting here and you start talking about Jesus, and all of a sudden the wind picks up and you're like, hey. He's always with you. That's the best part. It's too cloudy for the stars right now. Man, it is getting windier. I wonder if it's gonna storm tonight. I don't think so. It wasn't like, well, you know, like normally if it gets like super hot, it always rains. It'd probably be raining by now. Oh, I'm like ready though. Ready for some hot days and some thunderstorm nights. Love listening to thunderstorms. It's like I wish you could just like sit in an enclosed porch which is like far enough, or you can not get rained on, but the, you know, like you're out in it. I don't know. Just want to watch the lightning and all the fun stuff. Listen to the thunder. And that one day, holy crap, I thought somebody dropped something. That was loud. This is going to be a long video. Yeah, my phone's probably getting toasty warm. You guys have a great night.